This is your August forecast.
It's for your rising sign, but you may also find meaningful insights by checking your sun and moon signs. Aries rising. August brings a powerful reality check around who you're becoming and how you define or relate to success and achievement. With Saturn and Neptune now retrograde in your first house, you're being asked to align your identity with both your dreams and your discipline. This transit invites a radical reinvention of what's real, what's possible, and what it means to exist as an individual with purpose. It's less about external achievements and more about spiritually reconstructing the foundations of the self. These retrogrades form a tense square to Venus in your fourth house, stirring up memories from the past, especially those tied to family conditioning. What beliefs did you inherit about what's possible for you? Whose version of success have you been chasing? This is your chance to revise the script, to shift from performing to aligning, to redefine achievement in a way that's meaningful to you and to shift directions or inner beliefs about your version of self-actualization. And with support from Pluto and Uranus, this might feel like a turning point, a quiet but undeniable push to transform. You may feel a restless pull to shift direction, even if you can't quite name what's changing yet. These outer planet influences move slowly, so trust the timing. You don't need all the answers now, but you are already stirred and in motion. Until August 11th, Mercury retrograde in your fifth house may bring back exes, old creative passions, or unresolved feelings. Mercury's opposition to Pluto suggests a buried truth could surface. Don't rush to act, but do pay attention. This is your chance to clarify what you really want in love, joy, and creative fulfillment. Your chart ruler Mars enters Libra and your seventh house of relationships on August 6th, shifting your focus to partnerships and how you navigate shared drive. Mars isn't entirely comfortable here. Its usual directness and assertion are filtered through Libra's need for harmony and balance. You might find it harder to express your desires clearly, or notice others becoming more passive, indirect, or avoidant. If frustration arises, pause and ask, where am I being called to soften, and where must I stand firm? Mars's opposition to Saturn and Neptune creates a tension between your instinct for independence and the call to engage with others more thoughtfully. This is a cosmic nudge to reassess how you show up in love, how you protect yourself, and whether your boundaries are serving growth or guarding against it. This isn't about collapsing your needs for someone else. It's about redefining strength, not as self-reliance at all costs, but as the courage to open, to let others in, and to co-create. Tension in your relationships now may be uncomfortable, but it's laying the groundwork for deeper clarity around boundaries, mutual respect, and meaningful connection. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th lights up your 5th and 11th houses, activating themes around creative visibility, love, friendship, and your role in community. With a grand air trine between Mars, Uranus, and Pluto, this lunation could bring breakthroughs in how you express yourself and connect with others. You might feel pulled between personal desires and group responsibilities, or even between your creative self and social expectations. A culmination in love or a creative project is possible now, one that liberates you or helps you own your voice more boldly. As Mercury stations direct in Leo on August 11th, clarity returns, but not without complexity. You may feel a renewed confidence to speak from the heart, to create boldly, and to express what's been buried. Miscommunications begin to ease and your voice finds its rhythm again. But with Mercury opposing Pluto, this clarity can feel like a double-edged sword. What's revealed may be raw, intense, or confrontational. Conversations with friends, collaborators, or within your broader social sphere may surface hidden dynamics or power struggles. Who has influence over your voice? What truths have you swallowed to keep the peace? You're being asked to speak not just with flair, but with depth, honesty, and integrity. At the same time, the moon moves into opposition with Mars in Libra, joining Saturn and Neptune in your first house. Emotionally, this can feel like a subtle storm, confusion, sensitivity, or the sense that your needs are being overlooked in relationships. Mars, already in fall, struggles to assert itself cleanly. You may feel internal pressure to maintain harmony, but that pressure can quickly turn to resentment if you're not honest with yourself. This moment brings both relief and reckoning. It's not just about speaking your truth. It's about understanding why it's felt so hard to voice it. Have you been afraid of being too much? Too emotional? Too open? What's rising to the surface now isn't here to break you down, but to guide you back to your inner authority. On August 16th, the moon conjuncts Uranus, bringing unexpected shifts in your mindset, communication, or immediate environment. This could be a sudden realization, a conversation that changes your perspective, or a disruption in your daily flow that reveals what's no longer working. It may feel jarring at the moment, but it's likely pointing to a needed shift in how you think, speak, or relate to your surroundings. Let it shake loose what's outdated. You might find yourself restless or stirred up on the new moon in Virgo on August 23rd. This is your chance to reset your routines around work, health, and daily rhythms. But rather than forcing rigid structure, the energy invites you to experiment. Try a new habit, reshape your schedule, refresh your wellness practices, or explore a different work environment. Even something as simple as a new gym or workspace could spark momentum. Whatever shifts arise now are planting seeds of practical innovation. Progress comes not from perfection, but from staying curious and adaptable. Let this reset be guided by the areas that need renewed energy, where your life and work are asking for more vitality, clarity, and intention. Your 5th and 11th houses clash as Venus opposes Pluto on August 26th. This time, highlighting power struggles in love, creative visibility, or group dynamics. Venus in Leo is radiant, but Pluto brings depth and pressure. You might feel overlooked, compared, or caught in hidden competition. But here's the medicine. What triggers you now may point to a deeper desire, something you crave, admire, or fear you lack. Stay grounded in your own worth and use this moment for radical honesty with yourself. Venus trining Saturn and Neptune gives you the chance to turn longing into something real and meaningful, if you stay clear and intentional. August is rich in insight. It's emotionally layered and full of relational mirrors. You're learning to trust your vision and refine your execution. You're becoming someone who can hold both passion and discipline, love and sovereignty. Let the tension guide you, not define you. What challenges you now is shaping the version of you that's ready to emerge, to lead, love, and live with deeper truth and fuller resonance. Taurus rising. August begins with Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 12th house. This is a subtle but profound space that governs the unconscious, spiritual healing, and endings. You're in a period of clearing karmic residue, dissolving illusions and quietly shedding identities that no longer serve your soul. Saturn rules your 9th house of belief systems, higher truth, and 10th house of career and legacy, so this internal journey affects how you envision your future and the kind of impact you want to make. You may be questioning your life direction, spiritual path, or even career goals, but this isn't about clarity just yet. It's about surrender to the possibilities. These retrogrades square Venus in Cancer in your 3rd house, suggesting that your environment, mindset, or communication style could be part of what's being unraveled. Notice old narratives or internal voices that limit your sense of possibility. What stories about your worth or voice are ready to dissolve? Mercury continues its retrograde through your 4th house of home, family, and emotional foundations. This may stir reflections around childhood, living situations, or your current sense of belonging. You may reconnect with family members, revisit the past, or feel a need to redefine home. Some sort of enlightenment or realization may try to surface to meet your conscious awareness, but something makes it difficult to clearly name, define, or understand. Opposition from Pluto in your 10th house may surface power dynamic between home and career. You might feel pulled between nurturing your private life and answering to professional demands or responsibilities. Let clarity unfold slowly and don't make major decisions just yet, as you may need to revisit or revise your decisions once Mercury turns direct on the 11th. On August 6th, Mars enters Libra, activating your 6th house of health, daily routines, and day-to-day responsibilities. This transit can bring a surge of activity or agitation into your daily life. Mars here can stir restlessness, stress, and even physical fatigue if you're overextending yourself. You may find yourself juggling more tasks, navigating workplace tension, or struggling to assert your needs in service-oriented roles. And with Mars opposing both Saturn and Neptune, boundaries around work, wellness, and productivity may become blurred. You may feel caught between a pressure to keep going and an underlying sense of depletion or confusion about what actually needs your attention. The need for balance while keeping others happy can feel draining, especially if your efforts go unrecognized. This is a moment to reassess how you manage your time, energy, and health. Are your daily systems sustainable? Are you honoring your limits or pushing past them in pursuit of productivity? Mars's contact with Saturn can manifest as burnout, chronic stress, or health flare-ups. So listen to your body. Instead of driving yourself harder, direct your energy towards self-care, rest, and rebuilding supportive habits. You don't need to prove your worth through exhaustion. Prioritize peace in your process, and commit to a rhythm that nourishes rather than depletes. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th illuminates your 10th house of career, public image, and long-term career goals. This lunation casts a revealing light on how you're seen by the world, bringing breakthroughs, realizations, or even recognition in your professional life. You might feel a sudden urge to pivot, recalibrate your path, or realign with a deeper sense of purpose. This full moon aligns with a powerful grand air trine involving Mars, Uranus, and Pluto, activating your houses of work, communication, and legacy. It sparks momentum, mental clarity, and innovative energy. The perfect conditions for a bold shift in your outer direction. You're being asked to zoom out and ask, is the life you're building still in alignment with your values? Does the work you do reflect who you really are and the impact you want to make? This is a moment to course correct if needed or to delve deeper into your current path. If you're willing to stay open and curious, this full moon could bring both clarity and the courage to move forward in a way that feels more authentic, inspired, and aligned. Mercury stations direct on August 11th, bringing emotional clarity and smoother communication at home. Any confusion around home, housing, or private matters begins to resolve, and you feel more mentally grounded in your emotional world. The next day, the moon joins Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house, forming an opposition to Mars in your 6th. This alignment may leave you feeling unusually tired, emotionally sensitive, or even disconnected from your usual sense of motivation. It's not a day for pushing forward, it's a day for pulling inward. The moon's presence can illuminate emotional overwhelm, or bring a wave of psychic fatigue. This is an ideal time to tend to your mental health, revisit your spiritual practices, or simply allow yourself to do less without guilt. This transit may also bring subtle insights or even a wake-up call about your health. Symptoms that have been ignored might surface now, urging your attention. Don't ignore the signs of your body. Honor your limits. You don't need to earn your rest. Stillness isn't weakness, it's medicine. Then, on August 16th, the moon conjoins Uranus, bringing unexpected shifts around money, possessions, or personal resources. This transit can manifest as sudden gains or loss, surprising expenses, or an unexpected change in your financial landscape, so keep an eye on your belongings and budget. More than just material, this moment may spark a deeper shift in your money mindset. If you've been stuck in scarcity thinking or financial complacency, it could serve as a wake-up call, urging you to reevaluate your relationship with security and financial freedom. For those navigating financial stress, this transit might open a new path forward, perhaps through fresh insights, unexpected resources, or opportunities to learn something that helps you break free from limiting patterns. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd brings a beautiful reset to your joy, passion, creative projects, and love. It squares Uranus, encouraging you to break free from perfectionism and doing things right. If you've been playing it safe, now's the time to take a creative or romantic risk, even if it's messy. Let your inner artist or lover breathe. On August 26th, Venus opposes Pluto, echoing the month's central theme, the tension between private life and public pressure. You may feel pulled between your emotional needs and the expectations placed on you. This could stir intensity at home, within intimate relationships, or around self-love versus your drive to succeed. This transit is revealing. It brings to attention where internal power struggles live, especially those between comfort and ambition, security and visibility, or self-love and external approval. But there's a softer thread woven through this day too. A harmonious trine to both Saturn and Neptune grounds this emotional pull in a deeper truth, that lasting fulfillment and real success don't come from control or perfection, but from soulful alignment and purpose. This aspect may illuminate how your inner calling is or isn't reflected in your outer accomplishments. As the moon squares Venus and Pluto on August 28th, buried tension rises to the surface, illuminating where your inner needs conflict with external demands. Let this be a moment for reflection rather than reaction. Trust the unraveling. It's often the necessary prelude to real alignment. What feels like falling apart may actually be clearing space for something more true to who you are. Real transformation begins when your actions, choices, and relationships are no longer driven by fear or outside expectations, but flow from your authentic values, desires, and purpose. Gemini rising, let August reveal where your voice is ready to be reclaimed, where outdated beliefs have run their course, and where your emotional foundations are asking to be rebuilt. With Uranus transiting your first house, expect breakthroughs in how you see yourself and how you meet the world. Your identity is evolving, and with it, your presence and purpose. Restlessness may surge and your mind might feel like it's racing, but this isn't chaos for chaos's sake. You're not losing control, you're shedding the old narrative and rewriting your story. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 11th house, your dreams, community connections, and long-term aspirations are under review. Saturn, ruling your 8th and 9th houses, ties this reassessment to deeper themes of shared resources, power dynamics, intimacy, belief systems, and your guiding philosophy. You may find yourself questioning not just what you're pursuing, but why, and whether the people or goals in your life truly reflect your deeper values and purpose. This is a period where the boundaries between the possible and the impossible begin to blur. Some dreams may feel unrealistic at first, but as you move toward what genuinely calls you, your sense of what's achievable expands. Faith grows through exploration. These retrogrades square Venus in your second house of money and personal resources, creating tension between your dreams and what truly sustains you. You may feel caught between what you long for and how that vision can support you financially. If doubts arise about whether your passions can be profitable, don't see them as roadblocks. See them instead as problems to be solved. Consider developing new skills, exploring possible paths, or seeking out mentors and models who've walked similar roads. Your dreams are valid, but they may need stronger structure or smarter strategy to thrive. Mercury, your chart ruler, is retrograde in your 3rd house, signaling a time of mental recalibration. You may experience brain fog, miscommunications, or the need to revisit old conversations, messages, or ideas. Issues related to siblings, neighbors, or short-distance travel may arise. Expect delays, scheduling mix-ups, or misunderstandings in everyday interactions. Instead of pushing for clarity, allow space for things to unfold. This period favors revision, not initiation. This Mercury also opposes Pluto in your 9th house, intensifying your awareness of belief systems and mental power. Power struggles may emerge in academic, legal, or philosophical arenas or within your own mind. A hidden truth or buried insight may come to light, but resist the urge to react immediately. Observe, digest, and let deeper understanding settle in. This transit may also spark questions around education, personal growth, or your broader worldview. Is there space in your life for new learning, higher studies, or spiritual exploration? Let curiosity lead the way, but take your time. The truth is still unfolding. On August 6th, Mars enters Libra and activates your 5th house, bringing heat, passion, and potential friction to matters of love, creativity, pleasure, and self-expression. This is a transit that stirs desire, but because Mars is in its fall in Libra, that energy can come out sideways, passive-aggressive dynamics in romance, creative blocks, or emotional drama masked as diplomacy. Mars also rules your 6th and 11th houses, linking this transit to your work routines, health, and your relationships with groups, friends, or broader communities. Tension may arise as you try to reconcile your need for personal joy with the pressure of social obligations or professional expectations. Are you sacrificing your creative energy to meet others' standards? Are group dynamics or external responsibilities draining your passion or stifling your voice? This challenge becomes more pronounced as Mars opposes retrograde Saturn and Neptune. Mars, as the dispositor of Aries, tries to act, to create, to pursue desire, but finds itself met with resistance, disillusionment, or blurred boundaries. This can trigger doubts around whether what you love or feel called to express fits into the larger world around you. Adding to the pressure, Mars also forms aspects with Uranus and Pluto, electrifying the tension and pushing you toward change. You may feel a surge of frustration or restlessness, especially if you've been playing small or silencing your joy to fit in. But this friction is also fuel for innovation, for creative breakthroughs, and for reshaping your identity. Use this time to ask, what lights you up? What forms of joy, love, or expression feel most alive right now? New hobbies, artistic risks, or bold romantic choices could become catalysts for personal transformation. Let your creativity lead, not to please others, but to reclaim the parts of you that feel the most real and alive. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th activates your 9th house of travel, higher education, and belief systems, helping you break through outdated mental frameworks or limiting beliefs that keep you stuck. This lunation brings clarity to how your thoughts, words, and environment shape your worldview and your reality within it. You might receive a truth that shifts your direction, or feel a calling to speak, write, teach, or travel in ways that reflect your growth. You're not just broadening your horizon, you're expanding your inner world to match your outer ambitions. As Mercury stations direct on August 11th, clarity returns. Misunderstandings begin to resolve, and your thoughts regain direction. You may find renewed confidence in speaking, writing, or navigating important decisions. The next day, the moon joins Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house, forming an opposition to Mars in your 5th. This aspect may stir emotional tension between your outer commitments and your inner longing for joy, rest, or creative freedom. You might feel unseen, emotionally misunderstood, or pressured to show up in ways that drain rather than energize you. Don't dismiss the discomfort. Take it as a sign. It's revealing where your current balance between responsibility and self-expression is off. Use this moment to reassess what truly fuels your drive and ambition and where you need more space to honor your passions without guilt. On August 16th, the moon meets Uranus in your 1st house, sparking a wave of sudden insights, intuitive downloads, and emotional breakthroughs. This transit can bring a jolt to your sense of identity, revealing where you've outgrown certain versions of yourself and where something new is ready to emerge. You may feel restless, unsettled, or emotionally charged as internal shifts rise to the surface. This is your intuition speaking loudly, illuminating the areas of your life that crave innovation, progress, and greater authenticity. You might feel an urge to change your appearance, express yourself more boldly, or break free from outdated roles and expectations. These changes can feel destabilizing at first, especially if you're used to maintaining a steady image or predictable path. Trust that this disruption is making room for a deeper kind of liberation. You're being invited to show up more fully and freely as who you are, not who you've been conditioned to be by the past. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd falls in your 4th house, offering a fresh start around your emotional foundations, family relationships, and living environment. This is a powerful time to reset your definition of home, not just physically but emotionally and energetically. With Uranus squaring this lunation, unexpected shifts may arise, a sudden move, surprising news from family, or a growing urge to break free from outdated routines and roles. Rather than resisting the change, see it as an invitation to build a life that's more peaceful, flexible, and aligned with your evolving needs. What you set in motion now has the potential to support not just comfort, but meaningful growth. Growth fueled by innovation, efficiency, and versatility. With Uranus in a position of angular power, you're not here to follow the traditional path. You're being called to redefine what security means to you, creating a home life and inner foundation that reflect your evolving identity. This is your chance to build something rooted not in convention, but in authenticity and forward movement. As the moon squares Venus and Pluto on August 28th, a tense T-square forms, spotlighting how you think, communicate, and make meaning of your daily experiences. Venus and Pluto in opposition stir deep emotional undercurrents, bringing power struggles, revelations, or intense conversations around trust, beliefs, and the stories you tell yourself or others. You may feel weighed down by unspoken thoughts, suppressed emotions, or the stress of holding everything together. Overwhelm could surface through your body or through conflict in your environment, especially if you've been pushing aside uncomfortable truths. You have the opportunity to look at the tension not as something to fear, but as a compass pointing to what needs your attention. Let the pressure guide you, not consume you. What's surfacing now is clearing space for a more honest, empowered way of thinking and being, one aligned with your truth, not your conditioning. As the month comes to a close, the moon opposes Uranus from your 7th house, bringing illumination through contrast. This is a moment where emotional clarity emerges through tension. You may feel pulled between your needs and someone else's, or between your desire for stability and a sudden urge for freedom or change. This opposition may highlight themes of self versus other, where your individuality rubs up against the expectations or unpredictability of relationships. It could also spark awareness around your mindset. Are you thinking too small, clinging to the familiar? Or are you scattered in too many directions, losing focus in the vastness of possibility? Uranus brings disruption, but also breakthrough. The moon brings feeling, but also reflection. Together, they invite you to notice where emotional restlessness points to untapped potential. Let what feels uncomfortable guide you toward greater self-awareness and a new perspective, one that balances inner truth with outer connection. Cancer rising. August asks you to reflect on the bigger picture, what you believe in, and whether your current path reflects the life you truly want to build. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 10th house, you're being called to reassess your professional direction and public role, but clarity may feel just out of reach. Saturn urges structure, while Neptune dissolves it, and both in retrograde stir uncertainty. You might sense what you long for, but the steps to get there remain foggy, caught between dreams and doubt, idealism and realism. Still, this month offers a quiet compass. Venus sits on your ascendant, and Jupiter glows nearby in your first house. Both in Cancer, they remind you that your emotions are powerful messengers. What brings you comfort, safety, or emotional nourishment? These aren't distractions, they're clues. Pay attention to what makes your heart soften or feel at home. That feeling points toward what you love and what's worth pursuing. Let that emotional truth guide you through the ambiguity. Meanwhile, the Sun and Mercury in your second house shift the spotlight to money, resources, and self-worth. With Mercury retrograde, you're rethinking your relationship with finances, how you earn, spend, and value what you have. Delays or questions around money may arise. Mercury's opposition to Pluto in your 8th house intensifies this inquiry. You may confront emotional or financial entanglements, attachments rooted in fear, scarcity, or control. What are you clinging to out of insecurity? What would it mean to feel safe, supported, and sovereign in your own worth? On August 6th, Mars enters Libra, activating your 4th house of home and emotional roots. Tensions may rise within family dynamics or domestic life. You may feel pulled between craving peace and needing to assert boundaries. Mars is your 10th house ruler, so this push-pull could reflect career versus home conflict. Let discomfort guide you to healthier, more conscious ways of nurturing yourself. The Aquarius full moon on August 9th lights up your 8th house, bringing to the surface themes around shared finances, debts, investments, inheritances, and energetic or emotional entanglements with others. This lunation may mark a culmination or turning point. Perhaps an agreement is finalized, a financial matter reaches resolution, or buried emotions related to trust, power, or vulnerability come into sharper focus. Simultaneously, a powerful grand air trine unfolds between Mars in Libra, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius. This alignment intensifies the full moon's energy, sparking sudden insights, breakthroughs, or unexpected events, particularly in matters involving money tied to others, such as loans, family assets, taxes, or wills. You may receive surprising news regarding joint resources or be confronted with a truth that alters how you manage your money. Emotionally, this lunation could also unearth deeper fears around dependency or control. Aquarius asks for detachment and clarity, urging you to reclaim your sense of power through objectivity, even in emotionally charged situations. Whether it's a conversation, a document, or an intuitive flash, what comes to light now has the potential to set you free from something that's been weighing on you. Mercury goes direct on August 11th, helping clarify your financial outlook and personal values. After a period of confusion, you'll feel more grounded in your decision-making and what you're ready to prioritize. On August 12th, the Moon joins Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house, opposing Mars in Libra. This alignment may stir emotional heaviness or confusion around your career, responsibilities, and the image you present to the world. You might feel the weight of expectation, yet lack the clarity or drive to meet it in a way that feels aligned. Mars in Libra, ruling your midheaven and dispositing the Moon, Saturn, and Neptune, holds significant influence here, but Mars in Libra struggles with direct action, often hesitating in its desire to avoid conflict or maintain harmony. The tension between what appears right and what feels true becomes palpable. You may feel pulled to act or shift direction, but doubt or a desire to not upset the balance keeps you stuck in indecision. Neptune adds to the murkiness, dissolving boundaries and blurring your sense of what's real or expected. Saturn reinforces duty, but may also deepen fears of inadequacy, and the Moon, illuminating this celestial cluster, brings emotional awareness but not necessarily peace. Instead, you may feel a quiet discomfort rising to the surface, asking to be acknowledged. With Mars opposing all three, suppressed frustration or passive-aggressive tendencies can build if you're not honest with yourself about what you're feeling. But this is not a call for impulsive action. It's an invitation to pause and reflect. You don't need to push through the fog. Let your emotions guide you, not toward immediate solutions, but toward understanding. The clarity will come, but only if you give yourself permission to sit with the tension and listen to what your discomfort is trying to reveal. On August 16th, the Moon meets Uranus in Gemini, potentially bringing a flash of insight or unexpected disruption. A sudden realization, perhaps emerging from your unconscious, may shed light on the Saturn and Neptune theme. While this revelation can offer clarity, it may also stir tension or restlessness. Something still might not sit right, but you now see a piece of the puzzle that was previously hidden. Truth doesn't always arrive comfortably, but it does move you forward. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd lands in your 3rd house, offering a powerful reset in how you think, speak, and process information. This is a fertile time to rewire your mindset, refine your communication style, or adopt new ways of learning and expressing yourself. But there's more to this lunation than meets the eye. Uranus in Gemini forms a square to this new moon, linking the subconscious with the conscious mind through a channel of tension and disruption. This may stir mental restlessness, dreams, or sudden insights that seem to come out of nowhere, revealing outdated thought loops, self-sabotaging narratives, or deeply ingrained assumptions that no longer serve you. Because both Gemini and Virgo are mutable signs, there's a strong emphasis on change. But not just any change. This is about shifting how you think, so that your outer world can reflect a new level of inner clarity. Although you can feel mentally overstimulated or challenged, this can also spark breakthroughs. On August 26th, Venus in your second house forms a tense opposition to Pluto in your 8th house, bringing financial dynamics and relationships into sharp focus. Venus here speaks to personal income and financial desires, while Pluto in the 8th house points to what is owed and shared. When these two clash, power struggles over resources, control, and financial autonomy can emerge. What intensifies this is the moon's square to both Venus and Pluto on the 28th. This configuration is emotionally volatile. Emotions may boil over, repressed anger can surface, frustration around fairness, imbalance in giving and receiving, or resentment tied to who pays for what or who has what. You might feel like you're holding the emotional weight of a situation that's economically or energetically unequal. Money isn't just math here, it's a mirror of how value, power, and emotional labor are distributed in your closest relationships. If something feels unfair, this configuration brings it to the surface so it can no longer be ignored. Leo rising. August marks a powerful turning point in your emotional, romantic, and spiritual evolution. The month opens with Mercury retrograde in your first house, prompting you to revisit how you express yourself and how you're perceived. You may experience moments of self-doubt, mental fog, or a general sense that your words don't land quite right. There can be uncertainty around your identity, your voice, or whether others truly see or hear you as you are. This inner disorientation is magnified by Mercury's opposition to Pluto in your 7th house. Conversations and relationships may carry an edge, charged with projection, power struggles, or unspoken or unexpressed tension. You might find yourself misunderstood, or saying things you didn't mean in ways that feel hard to take back. Pluto has a way of pulling truth from the shadows, but not always gently. At its core, this opposition invites you to examine how your thought patterns and communication styles shape your one-on-one relationships. Do you tend to give your power away, get entangled in jealousy or control dynamics, or perhaps over-accommodate out of fear of losing connection? On the other hand, do you sometimes assert your voice so forcefully that it leaves little room for the other person's perspective? This is an opportunity to turn inward and explore the deeper motivations behind these responses, to understand not just how you speak, but why. Mercury retrograde invites reflection. Pluto slowly transforms how you relate, drawing your attention to the psychological undercurrents of your partnerships. What have your past relationships shown you? Are there recurring themes or dynamics? And more importantly, how can you preserve your voice and visibility in relationships without tipping into power imbalance? This isn't just about rehashing the past, it's about reclaiming agency. You're learning how to stay connected without losing yourself. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 9th house, you're being called to reassess your beliefs, spiritual truths, and long-held perspectives. This is a period of disorientation, where idealism and realism collide. You may find yourself second-guessing your spiritual practices or questioning whether your beliefs truly support you in the material world. Are your current philosophies helping you grow or holding you back? This is a time to reflect on how your worldview has been shaped, and whether it's still aligned with the life you're trying to build. This reevaluation is also practical. The 9th house doesn't just govern belief, it governs learning and the pursuit of wisdom. You're taking stock of your skills, knowledge, and mental frameworks to understand how they've shaped your broader outlook. There's an invitation here to integrate your higher ideals into grounded everyday reality. With Saturn ruling your 6th house of work and wellness and your 7th house of partnerships, this retrograde cycle shows how your inner perceptions directly impact your routines, energy levels, and relationships. You're being asked to create space for deeper healing and learning, even if that means facing what you usually avoid. This is about building the inner structure to support the outer growth you crave. To expand your world, you may first need to adjust how you think, how you serve, and how you connect. These retrogrades square Venus in your 12th house at the beginning of the month, activating karmic love patterns or unspoken desires. Secret attractions, hidden grief, or spiritual longings may rise. You might feel torn between indulging in fantasy and grounding in what's real. This isn't a punishment, it's a chance to clear unconscious attachments and rewrite your story around love and loss. What doesn't exist tangibly in your life right now may not be aligned with what's truly supportive for you. Still, Venus in the 12th remains a gentle and hopeful placement, one that connects you to deep emotional truth. The dreams, fantasies, or secret yearnings you hold aren't meaningless. They reveal something essential about your ideals, your capacity for love, and the kind of connection your soul is craving. Spending quiet time alone, especially through meditation, reflection, or creative solitude, like journaling, can be deeply healing this month. What pulls at you from beneath the surface is not random. It's something within you waiting to be seen, felt, and brought into conscious awareness. On August 6th, Mars enters Libra and your third house, activating your mind and voice. You may feel more driven to speak up, share ideas, or engage in meaningful dialogue, but that assertiveness can also come with impatience, frustration, or a tendency to push too hard to be received. Mars rules your ninth house of beliefs and vision and your fourth house of home and emotional foundations, so its presence here highlights a mental tension between your inner world and your desire to make your ideals heard. You might feel a strong urge to express what you've learned or articulate a higher truth, but also face fears about how it will be received. Will others understand you? Will they value what you have to say? This becomes even more significant as Mars opposes Saturn and Neptune in your ninth house. Saturn and Neptune are in the very house and sign Mars rules. While Saturn and Neptune may blur your momentum forward with uncertainty or self-doubt, there is still the will to act. However, you may weigh every word and thought for fairness, accuracy, or impact. The Aquarius full moon on August 9th illuminates your first house of self and seventh house of relationships, marking a turning point in the story that's been building all month. The tension stirred by Mercury's opposition to Pluto, the miscommunications, the power struggles, the push and pull between self-expression and relational dynamics now reaches a moment of emotional clarity. This lunation brings a relationship epiphany. You may finally see a pattern for what it is, whether it's over-accommodating, silencing your truth, or asserting yourself in ways that crowd out connection. The full moon sheds light on how your communication style and internal beliefs have shaped your partnerships, giving you the insight needed to shift. You may feel ready to break free from roles that no longer serve you, especially those rooted in people-pleasing, fear of conflict, or emotional entanglement. And while speaking your truth may feel uncomfortable, it's also liberating. Aquarius reminds you that authenticity matters more than approval or acceptance. This full moon invites you to claim the space to be fully seen and to see others more clearly too. And as Mercury goes direct on August 11th, a sense of clarity begins to emerge. After weeks of second-guessing your voice and revisiting old thought patterns, you may now feel more anchored in your truth. What once felt stuck or foggy begins to loosen. With a renewed perspective, you're ready to move forward. On August 12th, the moon highlights ongoing themes tied to Saturn and Neptune, around your beliefs, worldview, and inner truth. What's felt confusing or unclear in your mind may begin to come into focus, offering a chance to gain perspective. But this moment isn't without friction. This moon also opposes Mars, adding emotional friction and triggering deeper intellectual or spiritual tension. You may feel exposed, questioning your ideals, judging yourself for naivety, or swinging between guilt, shame, and fierce defensiveness. Just don't shut down. These emotions are pointing to something important. Let them show you where your boundaries against yourself need strengthening or where your vulnerability needs honoring. On August 16th, the moon conjuncts Uranus, sparking sudden disruptions, surprising news, or a restless desire to shake things up, particularly in your friendships, social circles, or online communities. You may feel an urgent need for more freedom, authenticity, or intellectual stimulation in how you relate and communicate. This transit can bring breakthrough moments, but also a sense of emotional volatility. What Uranus is trying to liberate is further empowered by a grand air trine involving Mars and Pluto, amplifying the pace, pressure, and emotional weight behind the changes unfolding. While the underlying energy is supportive, the planets involved here are intense and potentially volatile. Mars, Pluto, and Uranus all carry disruptive, confrontational energy, so shifts can come through confrontation, rupture, or emotional shock. This energy may ripple through your immediate environment, affecting relationships with siblings, close friends, or romantic partners. Misunderstandings, power struggles, or even betrayals in social or romantic dynamics are possible around this time. Just know that if something is falling apart, then it was never stable to begin with. Uranus liberates truth. Pluto exposes what's false. Mars gives you the courage to face it. trust that what feels disruptive now is clearing the path for deeper and more aligned connections. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd lands in your second house, bringing a fresh start around money, resources, and the way you manage your material world. This is your financial reset, an opportunity to reassess how you earn, spend, and create stability. A friend or community connection may offer fresh insight into your approach to money. You could feel inspired to budget more intentionally, realign your priorities, or redefine what true efficiency looks like when it comes to your time, energy, and resources. On August 26th, Venus enters Leo and your first house, forming an opposition to Pluto. This transit reactivates themes of hidden longing, emotional sacrifice, and intensity in love. You may find yourself pulled into emotional extremes, torn between desire and fear, attraction and control. Venus in Leo wants to be seen, cherished, and adored, while Pluto exposes the deeper layers of vulnerability and power that often go unspoken. Venus also forms trines to Saturn and Neptune, offering the grace to navigate intense emotions with maturity and compassion. This aspect also helps you reflect on the gap between your romantic ideals and the reality of your current connections. It encourages you to approach love with both hope but also discernment, grounding your romantic expectations. Then on August 28th, the moon squares both Venus and Pluto, stirring a powerful internal need for change in your romantic life. This energy may bring up wounds, jealousy, fear of abandonment, or the pain of feeling unseen or undervalued. You get to confront where you've felt disempowered in love, or where you've clung to relationships that undermine your emotional security. You may need to release a connection that no longer honors your need for safety, trust, and emotional reciprocity. By closing the door on unhealthy dynamics, you make space for a more soulful kind of love, one that invites you to co-create love through mutual respect, steady emotional safety, and honest devotion. This month clears emotional residue and gently calls you back into your power. You're learning to love without abandoning yourself, to honor your heart without compromising your needs. You're becoming the version of you who recognizes what true love looks and feels like because you finally understand what it's not. Virgo rising. August is a transformative month for your career, business, social networks, and shared financial resources. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 8th house, you're navigating a hazy landscape when it comes to shared resources, financial entanglements, and energetic exchange with others. Boundaries may feel unclear, whether in joint accounts, debts, loans, or even emotional investments. You may feel pulled in two directions, between your personal financial goals and the obligations or expectations tied to others. There's an underlying tension between idealism and realism in these areas, as you're being asked to confront what's sustainable versus what's simply wishful thinking. Saturn rules your 5th house of romance and creativity, as well as your 6th house of work and wellness, suggesting that these financial dynamics are closely linked to your joy, passion projects, and day-to-day energy. Are your relationships or your creative work supporting your financial well-being? Or are they quietly draining your resources? You might be pondering if there is something you want to build or create that could generate income, but getting there might require relying on others, taking a financial risk, or even going into debt. This period is inviting you to assess, where are you afraid to ask for support, and what boundaries need to be clarified to bring your dreams into form without losing your sense of stability or self-trust. This is a time to reimagine how shared resources can empower you, not limit you, and to ground your creative vision in a strategy that honors both your ideals and your reality. These Saturn and Neptune retrogrades form a square to Venus in your 11th house, prompting reflection on the role your community, friendships, and networks play in your life. Are you open to receiving support from the people around you? Can your social circles offer not just inspiration, but practical help or emotional nourishment? With Venus and Jupiter both in Cancer in this area of your chart, there's a strong indication that support is available, both materially and emotionally. You don't have to do it all alone. Consider what skills, connections, or encouragement your community can offer to help you move closer to your goals. This isn't just about asking for resources. It's about recognizing the power of belonging and the emotional safety that can come from leaning into the right relationships. You're being reminded that your dreams are not meant to be built in isolation. Let your connections carry you too. Mercury retrograde in your 12th house brings a quiet unraveling. You may find yourself processing emotions behind the scenes, seeking spiritual guidance, or confronting subconscious fears. This is a deeply reflective time, one that asks you to consider what's truly holding you back from being seen, from stepping forward, and from fully taking up space in the world. As Mercury opposes Pluto in your sixth house, tension may arise around your daily routines, workload, or sense of productivity. You might feel an undercurrent of pressure, control, or insecurity related to how much you're doing or how well you're doing it. This transit highlights the inner dialogue that affects your outer performance. Are you being too hard on yourself, trying to prove your worth through constant effort? Let this be a time to gently unearth what's driving your inner resistance so you can move forward with more clarity, compassion, and purpose. On August 6th, Mars enters Libra in your second house of money, values, and self-worth. This transit may stir up frustrations around how you earn, what you contribute financially, and whether you feel adequately compensated or valued for your efforts. As Mars opposes Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries in your eighth house, deeper tensions around shared resources, financial entanglements, and vulnerability may surface. You may feel pressured to carry more of the financial load or find yourself relying on a partner or spouse for support in ways that feel uncomfortable or unbalanced. Mars in Libra seeks balance, but these oppositions blur boundaries and make fairness difficult to define. This can stir frustration, especially if financial imbalance is creating strain in your relationships, but rather than letting it spiral into conflict, let the discomfort fuel your drive toward your ambitions. Clarify what you're working toward. Reassert your worth through the goals and systems you commit to building. Let this tension refine your focus and reignite your drive to build something sustainable. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th illuminates your sixth house, bringing clarity or culmination in your work, daily routines, or health habits. Something you've been managing behind the scenes, whether a project, business, or inner healing, now reaches a turning point. What makes this lunation especially potent is the grand air trine between Mars in your second house of resources and money, Uranus in your 10th house of career and public role, and Pluto in your sixth house of work and discipline. While trines are traditionally seen as harmonious, the planets involved here are anything but soft. Mars, Uranus, and Pluto are agents of pressure, power, and disruption, meaning any breakthrough likely comes through tension, not ease. You may experience a surge of mental clarity or emotional release that shifts how you approach work, money, or your ambitions. A confrontation with your current limitations, be it burnout, financial strain, or feeling undervalued, can push you toward a long overdue pivot. The challenge is real, but so is the potential. This full moon clears the path for a more empowered, purpose-driven way of living and working if you're willing to face what's been keeping you stuck. Mercury goes direct on August 11th, bringing peace to the inner noise. You'll feel lighter, clearer, and more ready to take aligned action from the insight you've gained. The Moon-Mars opposition on August 12th may heighten the ongoing tension created by Mars opposing Saturn and Neptune around the push-pull between personal finances and shared resources. Don't be surprised if your inner critic flares up or if self-doubt clouds your judgment. Instead of resisting it, use this moment to clarify where your energy and money are truly worth investing, both materially and emotionally. Whatever emotional tension arises around August 12th is unlikely to pass quietly. It sets the stage for a potential breakthrough when the moon conjuncts Uranus on August 16th in your 10th house of career and business. What begins as inner conflict, uncertainty around finances, worth, or emotional investments may build into a wave of restlessness that demands external change. You may feel an urge to break free from outdated roles, routines, or expectations tied to your professional path. This Uranian moment can bring sudden insights, unexpected news, or a creative spark that shifts how you approach your work or long-term goals. It may feel destabilizing at first, but it illuminates something vital, a new approach, opportunity, or mindset that can redefine how you show up in your professional sphere. Give room for the discomfort. It's not chaos for the sake of disruption, but a catalyst for growth and innovation. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd is your personal new year, a powerful cosmic reset in how you relate to yourself and how the world sees you. Landing in your first house, it invites you to shed old versions of self, rooted in fear, perfectionism, or outdated expectations. But this isn't just an internal shift. Uranus in your 10th house forms a dynamic square to the new moon, charging this reset with bold, unpredictable energy that demands change both within and without. Because this square touches angular houses, the most potent active areas of the chart, its effects will be felt in tangible, visible ways. This could mean a change in career direction, a public rebranding, a personal revelation that alters how you present yourself, or a rebellious step towards something that feels more authentic. This new moon is your declaration. You're stepping into a version of yourself that dares to be seen and isn't afraid to take bold, necessary risks. On August 26th, Venus opposes Pluto, drawing intense focus to buried emotions around self-worth, capability, and personal value. While this aspect often plays out in relationships, with Venus in your 12th house, the tension is far more internal and personal. You may be confronting subtle forms of self-sabotage or recognizing how longing for validation, often quietly or unconsciously, has shaped your sense of worth. The opposition to Pluto in your 6th house surfaces deep fears around not measuring up, particularly in your work, routines, or how you serve others. It can feel like a confrontation with personal shortcomings, a sharp awareness that who you are or what you do might not be enough. This can be painful, but it's also revelatory. Venus's trine to Saturn and Neptune offers a more grounded, compassionate lens through which to process this. You're being supported in seeing your aspirations more clearly, not through fantasy, but through structure and emotional honesty. There's an invitation here to begin healing the gap between the ideal and the real, between what you long to do and what you're currently capable of. It's not about lowering your dreams, but about tending to the foundations needed to sustain them. Still, the tension isn't resolved easily. The moon's conjunction to Mars reignites the pressure to earn, to prove your value, to make something happen. And as the moon squares both Venus and Pluto on August 28th, you may feel the emotional weight of suppressed insecurities, particularly the fear that you're falling short of your own ambitions. This is a deeply personal reckoning, not with failure, but with the internalized belief that your abilities don't match your aspirations. Let this be a moment of truth, not punishment. Facing what you fear doesn't diminish you. It can free you. From here you can begin building something real, grounded not in illusion or avoidance, but in courage, integrity, and slow-earned self-trust. Libra rising. August brings a recalibration of your one-to-one relationships. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 7th house, you're navigating the subtle, often unspoken tension between what you wish your relationships were and what they actually are. You may be confronting the gap between idealized visions of love and the grounded, sometimes imperfect reality of partnership. Something is rising to the surface, an invitation to reconnect with others in a way that honors both your practical needs and the soulful longing for deep, meaningful connection. This isn't about giving up on your ideals, but rather refining them so they're rooted in truth, not illusion. As Saturn and Neptune continue their slow journey through your 7th house, you're learning what real commitment looks like for you and what it takes to build a relationship that's both spiritually fulfilling and emotionally sustainable. Saturn, ruler of your 4th house of home and 5th house of joy, reminds you that the way you care for yourself, both emotionally and physically, directly shapes your ability to feel secure, loved, and creatively fulfilled. Saturn and Neptune form a square to Venus in your 10th house, highlighting a deeper conflict between the public image of your relationships or your relationship ambitions and your private emotional well-being. You may be questioning whether the love you present outwardly truly reflects the love you feel inwardly. In the first 2 weeks of the month, Mercury is retrograde in your 11th house, bringing reflection around friendships, social roles, and the communities you belong to. With opposition from Pluto in your 5th, old drama or creative envy may resurface, not to sabotage you, but to show where you've held back. Reevaluate who you share your light with and why. Mars enters Libra on August 6th in your 1st house, infusing you with momentum, drive, and a desire to assert yourself more boldly. But with Mars opposing Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house, your personal ambitions and relationship dynamics are deeply intertwined this month. You may feel caught between asserting your needs and maintaining peace in your relationships, between putting yourself first and prioritizing harmony. This internal tug of war can stir frustration, especially if there's lingering passive aggression or unspoken resentment in your connections. If those emotions go unaddressed, they may surface in ways that feel disproportionate or confusing. This isn't necessarily about the other person, it's part of your personal growth journey in relationships. You're being asked to examine where you may be idealizing your partner or sacrificing too much in pursuit of closeness. What areas of your partnership need more grounding, clarity, or emotional honesty to truly support your well-being and sense of connection? Use this time to realign your relational patterns with your evolving sense of self. The Aquarius full moon on August 9th lights up your 5th house of love, creativity, and confidence, bringing powerful revelations around how you express joy and who you choose to share it with. This lunation asks, are you performing for approval or expressing your truth from the soul? With Pluto currently transiting your 5th house, there's an added layer of intensity, pressure, and emotional depth. Whatever surfaces now isn't lighthearted. It touches something raw and transformative. And with Pluto forming trines to Mars and Uranus, there's a strong desire for liberation, freedom to create, love, and express yourself in ways that feel deeply authentic and unfiltered. This full moon offers a breakthrough. It's a chance to reclaim your joy, not as something to prove or showcase, but as something to live. Whether in romance, artistic pursuits, or how you take up space, this is your call to embody the most real version of you. Mercury stations direct on August 11th, clearing up confusion in your social or creative world. After weeks of mixed signals, you feel ready to reconnect with clarity and intention. On August 12th, the moon opposes Mars between your 7th and 1st houses, illuminating the growing tension between your personal needs and your relationships. This lunation brings to light the ongoing Mars-Saturn-Neptune opposition, revealing where emotional or mental exhaustion may be taking its toll, especially in one-on-one dynamics. Something may occur in the external world that demands your attention, whether a misunderstanding, disagreement, or moment of emotional intensity, that brings this inner conflict into sharper focus. This moment isn't just reactive, it's revealing. Pay attention to what surfaces now. It's pointing to deeper patterns around how you give, receive, and protect your energy in connection with others. On August 16th, the moon meets Uranus in your 9th house, sparking sudden insights or unexpected developments related to higher education, learning, or personal belief systems. You may feel a strong urge or face a surprising opportunity to expand your skills, return to school, or shift the way you pursue growth and meaning in your life. This transit can also illuminate a belief or mindset that's been quietly shaping how you express yourself, create, or show up in the world. What comes to light may feel destabilizing at first, as this is volatile energy, charged with urgency and unpredictability, but its purpose is liberation, not chaos. Let it free you from outdated ideas or limitations. Sometimes a shaken perspective and an awakening to new possibilities are exactly what you need to build something more aligned with who you're becoming. On August 19th, the moon aligns with Venus and Jupiter, marking a highly opportune moment for support, mentorship, or affirmation, especially related to your profession, reputation, or business pursuits. This alignment carries a warm, expansive energy that may bring helpful connections, emotional encouragement, or a boost of visibility. However, as this benefic trio forms a square to Mars in your 1st house, you may feel a mix of relief and internal tension. While part of you is grateful for the validation and support, another part may struggle with fully receiving it. Let this be a moment to soften, to acknowledge the abundance around you, and to recognize that being supported doesn't mean you're any less capable. It simply means you don't have to carry it all alone. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd lands in your 12th house, bringing a reset in your inner world. This is a time to slow down, retreat, and reconnect with your spiritual self, to realign your inner landscape and tend to what lies beneath the surface. With Uranus forming a tense square to this lunation, unexpected insights, vivid dreams, or sudden realizations may shake loose hidden truths. As Venus enters Leo and opposes Pluto on August 26th, it stirs intensity between your outward social self and your private creative core. You may feel torn between the desire to be seen and to belong, and the need to protect your authenticity or maintain your privacy. Power struggles or unspoken dynamics in social settings could rise to the surface, especially those tied to attention, validation, or control. Yet Venus's trine to Saturn offers grounding. It reminds you that self-respect, emotional maturity, and steady effort always outlast fleeting drama. You don't have to perform to be valued. Being consistent and true to yourself is what builds lasting connection. Then on August 28th, the moon squares this Venus-Pluto opposition, bringing emotional truth to light. This could highlight hidden feelings, romantic tension, or blurred boundaries within your social circles. You may be asked to face what you've been hiding behind. What mask are you ready to remove? And who are you without it? Let this moment invite you into deeper authenticity, especially in love, friendship, and how you want to be seen. August is a callback to self. You're learning to balance connection with individuality and to honor your body, creativity, and quiet power without bending for approval. This month reminds you, your worth isn't proven through performance, but through presence and devotion to who you truly are. Scorpio rising. August asks you to recalibrate your energy around work, wellness, and daily productivity. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 6th house, you're being called to reassess the rhythms, routines, and habits that structure your life. How much of your energy is spent trying to be useful, helpful, or endlessly productive, and is it truly sustainable? The deeper question is, are you building systems that nourish you or just managing the chaos? Saturn rules your third house of mindset and fourth house of emotional roots, suggesting that old thought patterns, family conditioning, or early emotional imprints may be influencing how you manage your time, health, and daily responsibilities. These retrogrades square Venus in your ninth house, highlighting a tension between your everyday routines and the larger beliefs or ideals you've built around them. You may find yourself questioning what gives your work meaning and whether your current direction still aligns with your inner truth. Mercury retrograde in your 10th house prompts reflection around your career path, public image, and how you communicate professionally. As it opposes Pluto in your 4th house, deeper emotional layers may surface, possibly triggering family-related stress or revealing how your upbringing has shaped your ambitions and sense of success. This is a chance to redefine what success truly means to you, not based on external validation, but on inner alignment. How does your mindset in the outer world support your inner transformation and deeper emotional needs? It's time to rewire your goals from the inside out. Mars enters Libra and your 12th house on August 6th. This is a more internal, reflective transit. Mars rules your 1st and 6th houses, so while you may want to push forward, your energy needs privacy, softness, and spiritual replenishment. Avoid burnout by slowing down and protecting your peace. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th illuminates your 4th house of home, ancestry, and inner life, bringing a powerful emotional culmination. This could manifest as a physical move, a breakthrough in understanding how your roots support or limit your sense of purpose, or a release of long-held emotional baggage. Alongside the grand air trine involving Mars, Uranus, and Pluto, this lunation offers an opportunity for liberation. You may feel ready to break free from expectations that tie you to outdated roles, pressure to perform, or external definitions of success. It's a moment to redefine security on your own terms, rooted not in performance but in authenticity. Then on August 11th, Mercury stations direct, bringing clarity to career matters and restoring a sense of flow. Misunderstandings, miscommunications, or feelings of stagnation begin to lift. You'll likely feel more grounded in your public voice and better equipped to make thoughtful, aligned moves in your professional life. August 12th brings a Moon-Mars opposition, spotlighting the underlying tension stirred by Mars's ongoing opposition to Saturn and Neptune. You may feel a growing sense of restlessness or unease, caught between the drive to assert yourself and internal fears that hold you back. Doubts around your capabilities, fear of visibility, or anxiety about managing daily responsibilities may rise to the surface. There's a deeper conflict here, the desire to find inner peace and purpose versus the pressure to remain self-sufficient and outwardly composed. You may feel torn between retreat and connection, between taking action and trusting your intuition. Don't override your emotional needs. Your inner world holds valuable insight if you're willing to listen. Let this be a moment to slow down, tune in, and realign your day with what truly sustains you. On August 16th, the moon conjuncts Uranus, sparking sudden developments in the realm of shared resources, debts, or external funding. An unexpected expense could momentarily disrupt your sense of stability, or surprising news about an investment or financial opportunity may shift how you manage joint finances. While the energy may feel disruptive at first, it also holds the potential for breakthrough, offering a new perspective or fresh start in how you approach financial interdependence. Then, the new moon in Virgo on August 23rd lands in your 11th house, offering a powerful reset in your vision for the future, particularly in areas of community, collaboration, and social purpose. It's a time to reflect on who you want to grow with and what kind of connections truly support your sense of belonging and contribution. With a square from Uranus, unexpected tension or disruptions in your social life may challenge your current direction or understanding of group dynamics. While unsettling at first, this shakeup could help you break free from outdated affiliations and open space for more authentic, aligned social connections. On August 25th, Venus opposes Pluto, intensifying power dynamics between your career and home life. If you've been holding tightly to a particular image of success or striving for control in your professional world, Pluto may challenge you to release what no longer feels authentic or sustainable. Meanwhile, Venus's trine to Saturn offers a stabilizing influence, helping you begin to rebuild with more clarity, maturity, and emotional integrity. This transit may also bring hidden dynamics to light, such as a secret workplace attraction or unspoken romantic tensions that could disrupt your sense of security or stability at home. Then on August 28th, the moon squares both Venus and Pluto, offering emotional clarity or deeper emotional involvement in the situation. This moment shines a light on the tension, helping you see more clearly where realignment is needed, or how you can move forward with more emotional integrity that aligns with your values. August leads you through an inner alchemy. You're evolving in how you work, manage pressure, and show up in your professional life, not by pushing harder, but by surrendering to your internal needs. When you release the need for validation and align with your truth, your power naturally returns. Sagittarius rising. August invites you to reassess how you relate to joy, creativity, and romance. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your fifth house, there's a tension between idealism and realism, between dreaming big and grounding those dreams in something sustainable. You may feel uncertain or blocked in expressing yourself fully, especially if you've taken your creative path or love life too seriously, turning what should feel light and enlivening into a source of pressure or confusion. This is a powerful time to reflect on what truly brings you joy, not in a fleeting way, but in a way that endures. What creative visions are worth committing to? Which relationships or passions deserve your time and energy? Let your imagination guide you, but give it form through discipline and patience. Mercury retrograde in your ninth house stirs up questions around your beliefs, worldview, or educational pursuits. Opposing Pluto in your third house, this transit may bring intense conversations or hidden fears to the surface, challenging how you think, communicate, or process information. Rather than rushing to fix or explain, stay open and reflective. Let curiosity guide you instead of defensiveness, and give yourself space to sit with what's being revealed. Mars enters Libra on August 6th, energizing your 11th house of friendships and future plans. Mars rules your 5th and 12th houses, so your creativity and hidden motivations may be channeled into collective projects or group dynamics, but watch for conflict or competition in your circles. The Aquarius full moon on August 9th illuminates your 3rd house of communication, learning, and mindset. A grand air trine involving Pluto, Mars, and Uranus at the same time. This lunation could spark a major mental breakthrough, a pivotal conversation, or the courage to finally speak your truth. You may also become aware of where your current skills or knowledge fall short of your aspirations. This is a potent moment to commit to learning, refining, or upgrading how you communicate, especially if you're stepping into a new role or wanting to be seen in a different light. Mercury stations direct on August 11th, bringing clarity to your beliefs and long-term vision. What felt delayed or uncertain now begins to move forward, and stalled plans may gain momentum. This is a great time to seek out mentorship, higher learning, or spiritual guidance to support your next steps and expand your perspective. The Moon-Mars opposition on August 12th stirs up tension between your emotional needs and your public or social identity. You may find yourself questioning whether the roles you play, whether in friendships, community, or career, allow space for your full humanity. Are you allowed to have feelings, downtime, and nuance? Or are you expected to constantly perform, please, or stay composed? This aspect pushes you to confront the pressure to be on all the time and invites you to reclaim your emotional truth. Then on August 16th, the moon conjuncts Uranus in your 7th house of one-to-one relationships, activating a wave of change and potential disruption in your closest bonds. Uranus has been moving through this part of your chart for a while, rewriting the rules of how you connect with others. Now, under the moon's light, this energy becomes emotionally charged. Restlessness, insight, or even a sudden breakthrough may arise. A new realization about your needs in partnership could surface, or an unexpected event may shake up the dynamic between you and another. With Mars and Pluto forming trines to Uranus and the Moon, there's added intensity and potential for ego clashes. Power struggles, desires for independence, or deep emotional truths could come to the surface. While this may feel destabilizing, it's ultimately clearing space for a more authentic way of relating, one where both freedom and emotional depth can coexist. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd initiates a fresh chapter in your 10th house of career, reputation, and long-term goals. This is a powerful moment to realign with the work you truly want to be known for. Whether you're seeking more purpose, stability, or refinement in your path, this lunation invites you to plant new seeds with clarity and intention. However, Uranus forms a tense square to this new moon, introducing an element of surprise, disruption, or innovation. You may be pushed out of your comfort zone, called to lead in a way that feels unfamiliar, or to pursue a vision that challenges your old definitions of success. This shift could feel unsettling at first, but it's also where breakthrough and evolution become possible. There may be unexpected changes related to a partner, whether romantic, business, or client-based, that influence your public life. Someone else's decisions, needs, or instability could ripple into your professional world, forcing you to adapt or rethink your strategy. Challenges in partnership may test your sense of control or direction, but they're also showing you where greater flexibility or new systems are needed. Ultimately, this new moon is a reset, urging you to move toward a more aligned and liberated version of success. You don't have to follow an outdated blueprint. Instead, let this be the beginning of a career path or public role that reflects who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Venus opposes Pluto on August 25th, intensifying themes around love, values, and personal truth. This energy activates your axis of learning and communication, bringing deeper awareness to how your beliefs shape your connections. In romantic relationships, this can manifest as a clash of values or worldviews, where neither side wants to yield. It's a potent and stubborn energy, one that may stir up jealousy, control, or unspoken fears beneath the surface. If you find yourself in a conflict, remember that both you and your partner may be fighting for something deeper, a sense of authenticity, truth, and personal freedom. It may not be easy to articulate, but try to stay open, curious, and willing to understand where the other is coming from, especially if emotions feel heightened or irrational. On August 28th, the Moon squares the Venus-Pluto opposition, intensifying emotional tension and bringing hidden feelings to the surface. This aspect invites you to reflect. Are old patterns of fear, control, or emotional defensiveness fueling the current dynamic? Rather than reacting, give yourself space to observe. The discomfort can be meaningful. It points to what's ready to evolve within you and within your relationships. A quiet but powerful shift is unfolding this month, one that begins from within. August stirs up long-held fears, outdated beliefs, and unconscious patterns that have shaped how you express yourself, connect with others, and pursue your dreams. You're being asked to rethink what's possible, not just in your relationships or career, but in the stories you tell yourself. Let the ground beneath you shift. When your inner framework evolves, your outer path expands. Capricorn rising. August may feel emotionally heavy, as old confusion around family dynamics, childhood conditioning, and your sense of emotional security rises to the surface. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 4th house, you may be reflecting on the weight of family expectations, unspoken responsibilities, or emotional patterns inherited from your roots. This is a time for inner work, whether through therapy, reflection, or simply allowing yourself to feel what you've long suppressed. These themes intensify as Saturn and Neptune square Venus in your 7th house, bringing relationships into sharp focus. The love and support you long for may be closer than you think, but are you in the emotional space to recognize it? Or are you unconsciously gravitating toward patterns that reflect old wounds, keeping you locked in emotional dynamics you've been conditioned to accept? This theme echoes through Mercury retrograde in your 8th house, which invites you to revisit your psychological patterns, emotional entanglements, and the deeper fears that live beneath the surface. Issues around intimacy, trust, shared resources, or debt may resurface, not just in practical terms, but as reflections of your inner landscape. Mercury's opposition to Pluto in your 2nd house presses on deeper questions. Where does your sense of worth come from? Are you giving away your power to feel secure, loved, or financially supported? This is a moment to uncover the beliefs, often inherited or unconscious, that keep you stuck in cycles of dependence, control, or fear. Transformation is possible, but only if you're willing to face what you've avoided. The more honest you are with yourself, the more power you reclaim. Mars enters Libra and your 10th house on August 6th, activating your career zone. Mars rules your 4th and 11th houses, so home-family dynamics may affect your public or professional life. With Mars in its fall, assertiveness may be challenged, especially with authority figures. Use strategy, not force. The Aquarius full moon on August 9th illuminates your 2nd house of money, self-worth, and personal resources, marking a potential breakthrough or culmination in these areas. Something you've been working toward, especially involving finances, income, or material stability, may now bear fruit. With a powerful grand air trine between Mars, Pluto, and Uranus activating your financial and work-related houses at the same time, this lunation carries momentum, innovation, and forward movement. A shift in how you earn, value yourself, or manage shared resources is possible, especially if you've been feeling undervalued overworked, or stuck in outdated dynamics. Whether it's a financial opportunity, a mindset shift, or the courage to advocate for your worth, this is a moment to reclaim your value and take bold steps toward greater self-sufficiency and empowerment. Mercury stations direct on August 11th, bringing clarity to matters of shared resources, emotional entanglements, and financial obligations. After a period of confusion or unspoken tension, conversations around money, intimacy, or support may begin to flow more honestly and confidently. The Moon-Mars opposition on August 12th stirs tension between your private life and public aspirations, between the need for emotional security and the drive to succeed. You may feel pulled in two directions: the weight of home or family responsibilities versus the pressure to prove yourself professionally. There could also be a creeping sense of inadequacy or self-doubt around your actions and direction. On August 16th, the Moon conjoins Uranus in your 6th house, delivering a sudden jolt of energy to your daily routines, health habits, and work life. You might feel a surge of restlessness, mental overstimulation, or unexpected disruptions in your schedule. Things could go off script, appointments shift, tasks pile up, or your usual rhythm gets thrown. Uranus may be pushing you to reinvent your approach to productivity, wellness, or how you manage time. New ideas or unconventional methods could spark greater efficiency or engagement, even if the process feels chaotic at first. Stay open to flexibility, but be mindful of burnout. A busy mind and scattered focus are likely, so try grounding your energy with movement, mindfulness, or tasks that genuinely stimulate you. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd activates your 9th house of higher purpose, travel, and belief systems. This is a fresh start that invites you to realign with what truly inspires and expands you. Whether it's planning a journey, diving into study, or rethinking your worldview, you're being nudged to reconnect with a deeper sense of meaning. With Uranus squaring the lunation, disruption may arrive in the form of restlessness, sudden insights, or a strong urge to break free from routines that no longer reflect who you're becoming. You may feel called to pivot toward a lifestyle, daily rhythm, or wellness practice that's more in sync with your evolving truth. It may feel unsettling at first, but these shifts are creating space. Say yes to the unknown. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth it unlocks could reshape your path in lasting and liberating ways. Venus opposes Pluto on August 25th, intensifying relationship dynamics, especially those tied to finances, control, and emotional vulnerability. Jealousy, longing, or buried fears around dependence and power may rise to the surface, bringing truth to light in uncomfortable but necessary ways. If you've been avoiding a conversation or glossing over imbalances, this transit won't let you look away. On August 28th, the Moon squares the Venus-Pluto opposition, adding emotional weight and clarity to the themes that surfaced earlier. This is your chance to ask, what pattern am I finally ready to release, not out of fear or frustration, but out of love and self-respect? Are your financial goals or shared resources truly aligned with your values? Or is there emotional tension tied to receiving support, trusting others, or allowing abundance to flow through shared investments? The answers may be complex, but clarity begins with your willingness to explore them. August clears away mental clutter and emotional residue, helping you reconnect with your self-worth and with the kind of love, career, and communication that truly reflect it. Major shifts are unfolding in your financial world, pushing you to confront old fears around security, dependence, and value. This isn't just about money. It's about how deeply you trust yourself to create and sustain what you need. Empower yourself by taking intentional steps to increase your financial flow, even if it means stepping into discomfort or uncertainty. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Transformation begins when you stop shrinking yourself and start investing in the version of you that knows you're already enough. Aquarius rising. This month invites you to reclaim your voice, not just in how you speak to others, but in how you speak to yourself. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 3rd house, you're being asked to reassess the way you think, learn, and communicate. Saturn in Aries brings friction between impulsive expression and the pressure to get it right, which can lead to hesitation, self-censorship, or overcorrection. Meanwhile, Neptune dissolves boundaries in this realm, encouraging intuitive, lyrical, or even psychic forms of communication, but also blurring clarity, creating fog around what's true, helpful, or real. You may begin to question your voice, and thoughts may feel less linear, and conversations may expose gaps between how you intend to express yourself and how it's received. You may also experience emotional ambiguity or tension in your immediate environment, especially with siblings, neighbors, or through local routines. Misunderstandings, missed connections, or blurred emotional boundaries are possible. Mercury retrograde in your 7th house asks you to slow down and reflect on how you show up in partnership. Miscommunications or relationship patterns may resurface, especially with Mercury opposing Pluto in your 1st. You're being asked to speak from the soul, not from old defense mechanisms. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th is your full moon of the year, illuminating your 1st house. This is a major moment of clarity around identity, direction, and self-expression. With a grand air trine present between Mars, Uranus, and Pluto, this lunation empowers you to break free from personas or roles that no longer fit. Let your individuality speak louder than your conditioning. Then, on August 11th, Mercury goes direct, helping smooth out recent tensions in your relationships. Clarity returns, and communication becomes more open and cooperative. Rather than turning inward or overthinking, you're now able to express your thoughts more clearly and directly, fostering better mutual understanding. The Moon-Mars opposition on August 12th highlights tension between your thoughts and communication style and the beliefs you're striving to live by. There may be a growing pressure to express yourself from a place of deeper wisdom or higher understanding. Mars intensifies the ongoing Saturn-Neptune theme, stirring inner friction around your desire to grow. You may feel a sudden ambition to expand your horizons, whether through higher education, self-study, or travel, as a way to bridge the gap between what you know and what you long to embody. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd activates your 8th house, marking a fresh start in how you manage shared finances, debts, and long-term investments. With Uranus squaring the lunation, you're being encouraged to release control and explore more innovative or unconventional ways of handling financial obligations. This new moon may feel restless, but that restlessness is a signal to plant new roots through smarter, more sustainable strategies. Left unaddressed, this energy can turn into anxiety. Take proactive steps now to restructure your financial world and create greater freedom in the long run. Venus opposes Pluto on August 26th, activating the axis between your 6th and 12th houses. This brings intensity to themes around work, service, and healing, especially where overwork, people-pleasing, or self-sacrificing habits have gone unchecked. It's a powerful moment to reclaim your energy and recognize the value of what you give without draining yourself in the process. Power struggles in relationships may also surface, revealing where control, whether yours or someone else's, has been interfering with connection. Use this energy to notice where you need to reclaim your power and where it's time to soften your grip. On August 28th, the moon squares both Venus and Pluto, illuminating these themes with emotional clarity. This can bring closure, especially if you've been feeling unseen or depleted. Let this be a turning point, a chance to step back into your light. August marks a quiet yet powerful turning point. The way you think, communicate, and show up in the world is evolving. Your identity is in transition, and it begins with your mindset, how you speak to yourself, how you express joy, and how you create. You're being called to reconnect with your truth, not the one you inherited, but the one that's rising from within. Pisces rising. August shifts your focus inward toward your relationship with money, value, security, and self-reliance. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 2nd house, you're being asked to reevaluate how you've built your self-worth and how you can build your financial independence moving forward. Saturn here urges you to get serious about your resources, boundaries, and what you truly need to feel secure. But in Aries, Saturn can feel impatient or unstable, highlighting where your sense of worth may have been built on shaky ground or shaped by impulsive decisions. Meanwhile, Neptune softens and spiritualizes this area of life, dissolving attachments to outdated material goals. But it can also blur the line between fantasy and financial reality. Together, Saturn and Neptune invite you to bridge that gap, to align your values with both practicality and purpose. Mercury retrograde in your 6th house brings delays or rethinking in your routines, health, or work roles. With opposition from Pluto in your 12th, it may also dig up unconscious beliefs about productivity and self-worth. This is a deep detox of what you do and why you do it. Mars enters Libra on August 7th, activating your 8th house and opposing Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd. This brings tension and urgency around themes of intimacy related to shared resources and emotional entanglements. The full moon in Aquarius on August 9th illuminates your 12th house, bringing hidden truths and psychological depth to the surface. With a grand air trine involving Pluto, Mars, and Uranus, there's potential for powerful insight, emotional release, or a revelation connected to long-held beliefs, especially those shaped by your upbringing. This is your invitation to surrender, not to give up, but to release control and trust in something deeper, wiser. Mercury stations direct on August 11th, bringing renewed clarity and momentum to your work and health routines. You may find it easier to manage your energy, communicate your needs, and make practical adjustments, especially in your daily responsibilities. The Moon-Mars opposition on August 12th once again highlights tension between your personal finances and shared resources. Themes of independence versus emotional or financial entanglement may rise to the surface, especially around how money shapes intimacy and power dynamics. This energy can stir frustration, potentially leading to conflict in close relationships. Use this moment to reassess your boundaries and explore how to balance self-reliance with mutual support. The Moon conjunct Uranus on August 16th in your 4th house may bring sudden realizations, emotional breakthroughs, or unexpected changes related to your home, family, or living situation. This could spark a desire for more freedom or even prompt a physical move. The energy may feel restless or unsettling, but it's here to shake loose what's outdated. Stay open to the unexpected. Something new is trying to break through. The new moon in Virgo on August 23rd activates your 7th house, marking a fresh chapter in relationships. This is an invitation to reimagine how you connect, collaborate, and commit. With Uranus squaring the lunation from your 4th house, changes in your emotional foundation or living situation may ripple into your partnerships. This could shake up established dynamics, but it also opens the door for more authenticity and emotional honesty in how you relate. On August 26th, Venus opposes Pluto, activating deep tension between your desire for harmony in your daily life and the underlying pressure to produce, perform, or maintain control. This energy highlights potential power struggles related to work, health, or how you manage your day-to-day responsibilities. You may feel confronted by the ways your sense of purpose, passion, or creativity has been compromised, filtered through fear, perfectionism, or a need to prove your worth. This is a call to transform the way you show up in your daily life. Are your routines and responsibilities genuinely nourishing you and aligned with your goals? Or is something within you ready to shift so that your work and well-being reflect your deeper values and desires? Venus's supportive trine to Saturn offers the discipline and structure to ground these changes, while Neptune infuses your vision with inspiration. Trust what moves you, even if it's not yet fully formed. By August 28th, the Moon squares both Venus and Pluto, shedding light on the situation. This aspect brings clarity through feeling, helping you recognize what's no longer sustainable. If ignored, this energy can build into stress, overwhelm, or even impact your health. But if embraced, it empowers you to use the pressure to begin building a daily rhythm that supports both your body and your soul. Have the courage to make the changes you've been quietly craving. This month is a turning point in how you value yourself, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. Old patterns around money, work, and self-worth are being challenged so that something more aligned can emerge. Trust the discomfort and the pressure to shift. As you redefine your routines, relationships, and resources, remember, your worth isn't measured by productivity or approval, but by how deeply your external life reflects your inner truth.